What's up YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Thank you again for tuning in, welcome back to Ghost One More Mod. Today we have some work to do. So in a previous video, we did the replacing the yellow sleeve, adding real wires, and then adding a correct spiral wrap wire loom to the wires and inputting that. And I said I would be returning to the pack to clean up more of that area, and that is what we're doing today. So we are going to replace that horrible ribbon cable that I just kind of bypassed in the previous video and replacing with a Ghostbusters Afterlife ribbon cable 60 conductor twist. The one thing I like about this, and this was from GBHQ Parts Depot, I want to make sure I'm getting that correct. GBHQ Parts Depot, yeah. Is that this is like extremely flexible. I know some people get different types of custom cable and they struggle with the twist and how stiff it is, and this is actually extremely flexible. It was even more flexible, but of course I went off camera in the garage and I added some weathering just to kind of take a little bit of the sheen off to make it a little duller. It's weird what they did. They went super pale on the yellow sleeve, they went like incredibly dark with the ribbon cable. But anyway, so yeah, this actually is just dulled out a little bit more than what you would get stock, but it is very flexible. So I'm looking forward to, hopefully, I don't want to jinx again, the ease of putting this in. To attach this, I'm getting the blacked out version of no other than Redmond, the ribbon clamp here. So I'm excited to do that. I'm probably going to do a little bit of weathering. I might quickly do that on camera. Not my typical type of weathering, but more like scuff. I want to kind of scuff this up. It's funny, like some people will get a silver clamp and then they'll add like some black to it. And here I have a stealth black clamp and I want to take some black off and show some silver. So it's funny how that works out. And to go with that, the cable clamp. We need to replace that fake plastic one that does not go fully around with a 1 1/4 inch cable clamp. And I think while we're at it, we're gonna also upgrade a little bit of hardware where needed. So let's get going. We got some work to do. Here we go. All right, so to remove the ribbon, we will have to get inside the pack. I'm not gonna show how to get inside the pack. I've already done that in 2 videos. I did it in the Redmond V-hook video, and then a previous video where I did the wires, the wire loom, and the yellow sleeve. And I believe I highlighted that green. So check those videos out to get inside the pack. Otherwise, I'm just going to take off some peripherals here. That will make it easier when I flip this back and forth. So we're just going to remove cyclotron lid. And you would have done this to get inside the pack, but needless to say. So this is going to come out just for turning over the pack, taking the ion arm off. Also, we're going to have to take off this booster frame ladder. That is just held in with 2 screws, which is also going to be this fake cable clamp. So we're going to get our screwdriver now. 1 screw there and 1 screw here. Well, there's that. And there's just a little pull here, so just pull that out after you get both screws off, and then this just slides out. Now inside the pack, you will see that there's this little bracket here. There was going to be 3 screws in there. I've already taken that out from a previous video. So you just take that out. You'll see the stock Haslab cable clamp. It also has drilled out 2 holes. Just going to lift that up. I've already replaced the fake wire with real wires in a previous video, but now we're just going to push this stock one through. Hopefully it will not messing up my other wires. And then when that's through, we just pull that out and get this stock one out of the way. So as I mentioned, I did do just some subtle weathering on this new ribbon cable, including this cable clamp. I just like sometimes making things a little duller, taking the sheen off. So this metal right here is a little bit more faded. So those two things are, however, the ribbon is not. And I did opt for the black one just because I like how it is on Afterlife, where it is much more black than it is silver. However, it does need to be beat up a little bit because it just looks kind of too pristine to me. So I like that they gave these set screws included. That's really nice. So at this point, I'm just going to get a brush and just kind of do some minor scuffing to just give it a worn look. And I'm just using a bristle brush here. And if you know anything about some of the weathering I've done with my suit, you know that weathering happens on edges. So just like my suit, it was like cuffs, it was like ankles, it was pockets. So I'm just gonna do a little bit on the inside because that is probably not gonna get worn, but edges for sure. Yeah. And definitely this is the outside because it goes on like that. So this straight side would get scuffed up, I imagine, pretty decent. So see how that comes out here. Starting to see a little bit of wear. Yeah, there we go. We got some decent wear on the side there. Yeah. That doesn't look too shabby. So those do cover the screws. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to notch out just little notches here so the screws can go, and I think that's still going to, that's going to get smashed down pretty good. Some people, I think, drill holes and then put the screws through them, but I think it's just too close to the edge that I would be afraid to split the ribbon, if that makes sense, if you're understanding. I feel like it might just split and then defeat the purpose anyway. So I think I'm just gonna notch it out. Yep. I think we got it, like the first try. We might have gotten it the first try. I'll take it. That, I think, will work. Sometimes the little tricky part is actually trying to find the holes blindly. And I'm not going to go crazy over tightening this because we are going into plastic. But that is on there solid. So now I just got to get my twist action going on, and I got a little tip for that as well. Real quick, one thing that I noticed is how much shorter the stock ribbon clamp was, in comparison to the real thing, that it's actually a little bit longer. Like, it goes a little bit more around the circumference of the cyclotron lid, where the stock Haslab is I'd say like a good ½ inch shorter. That's interesting. All right, now for the twists, get a bunch of zip ties. It appears though that the first twist always goes to the right. So once you get that, do one more twist to complete it, and then get a zip tie and hold that down in place. And do not, like, you don't have to go full like lock, just enough where it won't unravel, and you'll be able to still get a pair of scissors or snips to get in there and get that done. But this way, as you go, you won't be fighting it, and especially when we get to the point where we have to get through the hole, you don't have to worry about unraveling. So we've got that, and we then just continue. We'll just leave this aside for now, but that leaves us to the new cable clamp. We'll have to get rid of these posts, and I'm going to upgrade some hardware. It was nice that I got new hardware with the new cable clamp, but just doing reference shots, it looks like the hex bolt still needs to be bigger. So I'm going to get some of my own hardware, and I'll leave a link in the description below for this entire kit, should you want to go this route, or especially go with like brass fittings and stuff like that, brass washers, I'm sorry. So we're gonna snip these guys off. So here is the hardware that was included with the new cable clamp. The socket screws, and they did give silver end brass washers with nuts, even though I don't think I'm gonna be using them. And as these do look great, and it is proper to have this like socket set screw, they just appear to be a little smaller than what's actually used on the real prop. And here is a photo, and if you see like here, there's no way that, I just don't see how this screw is proportionate to that. So I actually sourced some of my own hardware here, and if you are interested, I'll leave a link in the description below for exactly what I got. But this is pretty much whatever size brass washer you want. Obviously some really big ones, but really focused down here. And then also a huge kit of all different size socket screws with washers, black nuts. So this is a cool kit. So I actually think I'm going to step up a size, and it's ever so slightly, but here was the one that was included, and then this is just a slightly bigger width, and also a slightly bigger washer. And I think that's going to come in handy too, because at one point we're going to have to snip off. There you go. There's a good comparison. This is just like a little bit more masculine, and I think it matches the reference photo better. Personally, that's what I think. So this one is no issue. Obviously, it fits the one that came with the cable clamp, and even the size that I stepped up, that goes in just, yeah, see that? That looks more like the girth, the width of the reference photo. That just looks a little smaller for me. I'm grateful that they included it, but I think I want that more boltier look. I think I like that look. But more importantly, another reason why I'm doing it is we're gonna snip this off. When you snip this off, there's a good chance that we're gonna see some of this basically cutaway plastic, and my hope is that stepping up to something closer to this size, along with the wider washer, might cover up any exposed cutaway plastic that isn't black. And if so, then we can just either paint it or do it like a Sharpie or something like that. But yeah, see, that's a much better. That just seems too small to me. So anyway, let's snip this off. Okay, so I'm doing half there. I'm gonna flip it over. And then I'm gonna do the other half down the center there. I'll do it in quarters. I might just have to do little chunks at a time here. That's okay. Plastic flying everywhere. That is fairly flush. I'm not taking it down to the level of just this part. It's still going to be raised, but I just do want it to be uniform and flush. And the washer is going to help with that too. So I'm just going to clean this up to try to make it as flat as possible so there's no like asymmetrical or raised bumps. Not too shabby, and I think I can even kind of camouflage this a little bit. But before I get over obsessive, we will have to widen this out to be kind of close to the same size as this. So I'm going to go get my drill bit now. The drill bit I'm using is a 3/16, which I'm only using for the booster frame. I don't think I'm going to use a 3/16 when I go into the actual pack, but this should be sufficient to widen this out just for the bolt to go through this part of the frame. There we go. That is a pretty close match. Test. This is the bigger one. I put the other ones away. Ooh, it's tight. Do I need to go bigger? No, I don't. I do not. That is perfect, and it's threading. That was, all right, let's see how much white plastic we see and how much I need to cover up. So close. So close. I think I can get away with a couple things of Sharpie. I'm gonna go get a Sharpie, and I think that is going to be more than sufficient. So far, so good. It is so minor that I don't even think it's going to matter, but just the tiniest area. And the bolt does a good job of hiding the majority of it, and then even more so that larger brass washer did a great job of hiding a lot of it. Let's do one more test fit here. Oh yeah. Yep. That's the ticket. So here's the thing, like you can see that the bolt in this reference photo almost goes to the top, the very top of the frame, and that other bolt that came with it would not have done that. It would have been like, you would see top and bottom, but now with this, it's pretty much edge to edge as it is in the reference photo. So I'm happy with that. A wider, bigger bolt, more masculine look, which means also a wider washer, which also means that it helps cover up any of the cutaway plastic. So yeah, if you're interested in either of these kits, I'll make sure I put them in the description below to get them off Amazon. They clearly came in handy the first time I needed them. So with the test fit, I am happy with this. So I'm just going to, actually, I will take these and I will put these guys. So I'm gonna take the ones that came with the cable clamp and just put them back in my collection. All right, I know earlier I said I probably wasn't going to use a 3/16, but I feel like that worked out pretty good for me with the frame. So at this point, see if we can snip this as close as we can off. Boom. And this one as well. These flush cutters are the bomb. Okay, so back to the original plan, 3/16. Test fit. Test fit will be a winner. That's gonna be nice and snug. That's gonna be good. And last hole, don't go crazy deep once it goes through. And once again, last test fit, and that is going to thread in nice and snug, very snug. Oh yeah, that is gonna be secure. Faux show. That is already very tight. And that zip tie made life very easy. Here we go. It's biting. It's biting. Oh, okay. What I don't know is how much of the angle turn I got. I gotta turn this around here. Let's see here. Yeah, there's a little bit of an angle there. Maybe a little too much. I'm gonna take another reference look here and see how much that is supposed to be at an angle. So yeah, after pulling up a clip from Afterlife, this black lip right here just kisses this straight part of the rail. So it's only about, I don't know, I'm gonna say about a 25-degree angle to the left here instead of being straight up. So yeah, this black little rim right here kisses this rail here. So I did loosen it up a little bit, and then because it was kind of, it was 45-degree angle, and so I just turned that a little bit to the right and cranked that back down, and that is looking good with that size socket set screw and that brass washer. At this point, with our stuff ran through the cable clamp, I am going to cut off the last zip tie I did so I can feed it, because that nub was gonna make it difficult to go through the little tiny hole in the back. So I'm just gonna push that down now and there, and then flip this over. And pull this through. If I do that, and I pull that back, then I think I can get away with just one little hole. We might be ready for the bracket. I ended up having to cut away 2 layers to get enough threads for that screw to go through. But really, this thing is not, there's no way this is going anywhere with as much pressure that's going in there. So, ready for my screwdriver. This piece seems kind of a little overkill or redundant, but I guess they just, keep things from rattling, coming loose. But the new wire loom, the new ribbon cable, the bracket, that's not going anywhere. I can't even push it out or pull it in. That's how much pressure there is. So we are finally done in the back. Here we go, guys. Just look at all the little things that have added up. I mean, just doing the little bit of weathering that we did on the Redmond ribbon clamp, obviously the new ribbon cable, with this new clamp here with the metal, did a little bit of weathering in there, kind of take some sheen off, and then also with the upgraded hardware, some of those poles that we snipped off, along with the brass fittings and the upgraded hardware going up a larger size, I think really gives a little bit more of a beefier look to that booster frame ladder. Some tricky things I would say was getting that set screw in, kind of pinching that down, and also making sure it would go in. And I didn't want to I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't gonna start not cross threading, but just start spinning freely, if you know what I mean. So that was a little tricky, and then just getting the ribbon cable through the hole, and then finding, which pole you want to use to, drill through, and then bolt that bracket down, and then just getting your spiral the way you want it to. But other than that, this whole area is looking so much better from the previous video with the sleeve, the wire loom, real wires, and now all of this peripherals around it. It's looking so much better. I know I said it before, but it's amazing how just little subtle things and a bunch of them put together is just really making this pack come together. I mean, this is what we came from, and it is so much better. We did quite a bit. So it was the ribbon clamp, it was the ribbon cable, it was the P-hook, it was modifying the boost ladder frame, the upgraded hardware. It's really coming together. But that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions about the install, leave a comment. And if you haven't done already, please subscribe. Catch you guys next time. Out.